Listen to me carefully. There is a mystery many people never understand, and because they do not understand it, they keep chasing what was never meant to be chased. They keep begging for what was never meant to be begged for. They keep losing themselves while trying to be chosen. There is a power that does not shout. There is a power that does not chase. There is a power that does not prove. And yet this power moves hearts, changes minds, and shifts destinies. That power is detachment. Many people think love is about holding tighter. They think love is about giving more, doing more, sacrificing more, proving more. They believe if they show enough effort, enough loyalty, enough patience, they will finally be valued. But hear this truth today: what is freely available is often freely ignored. What is always present is often taken for granted. What never leaves is never feared to be lost. Human nature responds to value, not availability. When a woman loses herself in trying to be enough for someone else, she unknowingly lowers the value of her own presence. Not because she is not worthy, but because she has forgotten her position. She has forgotten that her presence was meant to be a gift, not a guarantee. There is a difference between love and attachment. Love is powerful. Attachment is desperate. Love stands firm. Attachment clings in fear. Love gives freely. Attachment gives to receive. And people can feel the difference. You see, detachment is not coldness. Detachment is clarity. Detachment is knowing that your worth does not increase when someone chooses you, and it does not decrease when someone does not. Detachment is understanding that you existed fully before anyone entered your life, and you will continue to exist fully whether they stay or leave. When a woman becomes detached, something shifts inside her. She stops negotiating with her value. She stops shrinking to fit into spaces that were never designed for her greatness. She stops asking, "Am I enough?" and starts knowing, "I am complete." And when this shift happens, the world responds differently. People are drawn to certainty. People are drawn to strength. People are drawn to peace. Not the peace that pretends, but the peace that comes from deep knowing. Because desperation repels, but certainty attracts. Have you ever noticed how people chase what moves away and ignore what chases them? Have you ever noticed how attention flows toward what feels independent, what feels grounded, what feels whole on its own? This is not manipulation. This is not strategy. This is alignment. When you are detached, you are no longer trying to control the outcome. You are no longer trying to force someone to see your worth. You are no longer trying to earn what should be freely given. You simply become. And when you become, those who cannot see your value begin to feel your absence. Those who ignored your presence begin to notice your silence. Those who took you for granted begin to feel the space you no longer fill. Not because you punished them, but because you reclaimed yourself. Understand this deeply. People do not respect what you abandon within yourself. When you abandon your peace to keep someone, they learn that your peace is negotiable. When you abandon your standards to avoid losing someone, they learn that your standards are flexible. When you abandon your identity to maintain connection, they learn that your identity is optional. But when you stand in your wholeness, when you refuse to betray yourself, when you refuse to negotiate your dignity, something powerful happens. You become unforgettable, not because you tried to be, but because authenticity carries a presence that cannot be replaced. Detachment is not about pushing people away. It is about no longer holding on to those who do not hold on to you. It is about no longer forcing energy where there is no natural flow. It is about no longer convincing someone to see what is already obvious. Your value does not need advertising. Your worth does not need campaigning. Your presence does not need begging. What is real recognizes what is real. And when you detach, you give people the freedom to choose. But more importantly, you give yourself the freedom to observe their choice without losing yourself in the process. This is where your power returns, because attachment makes you blind. Attachment makes you ignore red flags. Attachment makes you accept less than you deserve because you fear being alone. But detachment gives you sight. Detachment allows you to see truth without emotional distortion. It allows you to see effort clearly. It allows you to see intention clearly. It allows you to see whether someone is truly aligned with you or simply benefiting from your presence. Detachment protects your peace. It protects your energy. It protects your identity. Listen carefully. The moment you stop needing someone to validate your existence is the moment your existence becomes magnetic. Because now, your smile is not dependent on their approval. Your peace is not dependent on their attention. Your happiness is not dependent on their presence. You have returned to yourself. And when someone knows they are not your source, but simply your companion, the dynamic changes. Now they do not feel responsible for completing you. They feel honored to walk beside you. There is a difference. Completion is pressure. Companionship is freedom. People stay where they feel free. People stay where they feel chosen, not required. Detachment removes pressure. Detachment removes fear. Detachment removes control. It replaces them with peace. And peace is attractive. Not because it tries to be, but because it cannot be imitated. You cannot fake detachment. You cannot pretend wholeness. You cannot perform inner peace. It must be real. And it becomes real the moment you stop abandoning yourself. Many people lose themselves in relationships because they believe love requires sacrifice of identity. But true love never asks you to disappear. True love never asks you to shrink. True love never asks you to betray yourself. Anything that requires you to become less is not love. It is dependency. Detachment frees you from dependency. It reminds you that you are not waiting to be chosen. You are choosing. You are not waiting to be valued. You are valuing. You are not waiting to be loved. You are loving yourself first. And when this happens, you no longer fear loss. Because you realize the greatest loss was never losing someone else. The greatest loss was losing yourself. When you detach, you end that loss. You return to your center. You return to your strength. You return to your truth. And suddenly, the energy you once used to chase someone else is now used to build your own life. Your focus sharpens. Your confidence strengthens. Your presence deepens. You walk differently. You speak differently. You exist differently. And people feel it. Not because you announced it, but because energy speaks louder than words. People can sense when you are no longer seeking approval. People can sense when you are no longer afraid of losing them. People can sense when your peace is no longer negotiable. And this changes everything. Because now they understand that your presence is a privilege, not a guarantee. This is not about making someone chase you. This is about no longer chasing what is not aligned with you. This is about trusting that what is meant for you will not require you to abandon yourself to keep it. This is about understanding that your value is constant, regardless of who recognizes it. Detachment is faith. Faith in your worth. Faith in your journey. Faith in your timing. When you detach, you stop forcing doors. You stop begging for attention. You stop proving your value to people who are committed to misunderstanding it. You release, and in releasing you rise. Because what is truly meant for you does not need to be forced. What is truly meant for you does not need to be convinced. What is truly meant for you will meet you at your level of wholeness, not your level of desperation. Understand this deeply. You do not attract what you beg for. You attract what you embody. If you embody peace, you attract peace. If you embody confidence, you attract respect. If you embody wholeness, you attract alignment. Detachment is not losing interest in love. Detachment is losing interest in losing yourself. It is choosing yourself without apology. It is honoring yourself without fear. It is trusting yourself without doubt. And when you stand in that truth, you become powerful in a way that cannot be controlled. Because now, your happiness is self-sourced. Your peace is self-protected. Your worth is self-defined. No one can take from you what you no longer give away. This is the hidden power, the power of being complete within yourself, the power of standing without needing to lean, the power of loving without needing to cling. When you reach this place, you no longer fear abandonment, because you have stopped abandoning yourself. You no longer fear rejection, because you have stopped rejecting yourself. You no longer fear loss, because you have discovered that you were never lacking. And when you know this, truly know this, your presence becomes rare, not because you try to be rare, but because authenticity is rare, wholeness is rare, peace is rare, and people recognize rarity. They respect it, they value it, they do not resist it. Because deep down, everyone is searching for what feels real. And nothing feels more real than someone who has returned to themselves. Listen carefully, because what you are about to understand is something most people spend their entire lives missing. Many people believe attraction is created by effort. They believe attraction is created by doing more, saying more, proving more, showing more. They exhaust themselves trying to be seen, trying to be noticed, trying to be valued. But there is a truth deeper than effort. There is a truth deeper than appearance. There is a truth deeper than words. Inner peace makes your presence impossible to ignore. Inner peace is not something you wear on your face. It is something you carry in your spirit. It is not something you announce. It is something people feel when they come near you. You do not need to tell people you are strong. You do not need to convince people you are valuable. When peace lives inside you, it speaks without permission. It announces your worth without sound. It reveals your strength without effort. Many people live in emotional noise. Their thoughts are restless. Their hearts are unsettled. Their identity depends on the reactions of others. When someone gives attention, they feel alive. When someone withdraws attention, they feel empty. Their peace rises and falls based on external conditions. This is not peace. This is dependence disguised as emotion. Inner peace is different. Inner peace does not beg for validation. Inner peace does not panic when someone becomes distant. Inner peace does not collapse when someone fails to recognize your value, because inner peace is rooted in self-knowing. It is rooted in truth. It is rooted in understanding that your existence carries value before anyone approves of it. When a woman carries inner peace, she stops performing for acceptance. She stops adjusting her soul to fit into places that cannot honor her. She stops negotiating her worth in exchange for temporary attention. She stops chasing reassurance because she has become reassurance to herself. And when this happens, something powerful begins to unfold. People notice her, not because she demands attention, but because she does not need it. There is something undeniable about a person who is not seeking approval. There is something unforgettable about a person whose presence is grounded in calm certainty. They do not rush. They do not force conversations. They do not try to fill silence with nervous words. They are comfortable in stillness. They are comfortable in themselves. And this comfort becomes magnetic, because most people are not comfortable within themselves. Most people are running from their own thoughts. Most people are trying to escape their own insecurities. Most people are searching for someone else to give them stability they have not built within themselves. But when they encounter someone who already carries stability, it affects them deeply. It makes them curious. It makes them drawn closer. It makes them want to understand the source of that peace. Inner peace removes emotional chaos. It removes the need to react to everything. It removes the need to respond to every shift in behavior. When someone delays a message, inner peace does not create panic. When someone becomes distant, inner peace does not create desperation. When someone fails to show effort, inner peace does not create self-doubt. Inner peace creates observation. Inner peace creates clarity. Inner peace allows you to see reality without distortion. Because when you are peaceful, you do not interpret everything as rejection. You do not interpret everything as loss. You do not interpret everything as a threat to your worth. You remain steady. You remain centered. You remain whole. This steadiness becomes your power, because emotional stability is rare. Many people are controlled by their emotions. They react instantly. They speak from wounded places. They chase from fearful places. They cling from insecure places. But when you are peaceful, you are no longer controlled by emotional storms. You choose your responses. You choose your energy. You choose your direction. And this level of self-control commands respect without asking for it. People trust stability. People are drawn to emotional safety. People feel secure around those who are secure within themselves. Inner peace communicates that you are not dependent on external approval. It communicates that your identity is not fragile. It communicates that your happiness is not easily shaken. This creates attraction at a level deeper than appearance. Because appearance can capture attention, but peace captures the soul. Appearance can attract temporarily, but peace attracts permanently. Appearance can create curiosity, but peace creates connection. When you have inner peace, your presence becomes calm but powerful. You do not need to compete. You do not need to prove superiority. You do not need to compare yourself to others. Comparison disappears when you recognize your uniqueness. Competition disappears when you recognize your completeness. You are not trying to win anyone's attention. You are simply being yourself. And authenticity cannot be ignored, because authenticity is rare. Most people are wearing masks. Most people are hiding insecurities behind performance. Most people are afraid to be fully themselves because they fear rejection. But inner peace removes that fear. Inner peace gives you the courage to exist without pretending. You speak honestly. You walk confidently. You exist freely. Not because you are perfect, but because you are at peace with who you are. This acceptance creates an energy that people feel immediately. They may not understand it logically, but they feel it emotionally. They feel safe. They feel calm. They feel drawn toward you without knowing why. Because peace is healing. Peace is grounding. Peace is powerful. Inner peace also protects you from emotional manipulation. When you are peaceful, you do not chase inconsistent behavior. You do not beg for clarity. You do not tolerate disrespect in silence. You do not lose yourself trying to maintain connection. You remain aligned with your truth. You remain loyal to your standards. You remain committed to your dignity. This strength makes your presence valuable, because people recognize when you cannot be controlled by emotional games. They recognize when you are not easily shaken. They recognize when your self-worth is not negotiable. And this recognition changes how they treat you. They approach you with more respect. They speak to you with more care. They value your presence more deeply, because they sense that losing you would mean losing something rare. Inner peace makes you selective, not selective from arrogance, selective from clarity. You no longer accept everything. You no longer entertain everything. You no longer invest energy everywhere. You become intentional with your time, your attention, and your emotional investment. This selectiveness increases your value, because value is connected to rarity. What is everywhere is rarely appreciated. What is rare is deeply respected. Inner peace naturally creates rarity, because peaceful people do not chase attention. They do not force connection. They do not overextend themselves to be liked. They remain centered in their own lives. They are not waiting to be chosen. They are choosing. They are not waiting to be validated. They are validating themselves. They are not waiting to be completed. They are complete. And this completeness transforms their presence into something unforgettable. Because completeness removes pressure. Completeness removes desperation. Completeness removes fear. And when fear disappears, authenticity emerges. You are no longer acting from insecurity. You are no longer acting from emotional wounds. You are acting from truth. You are acting from wholeness. You are acting from peace. This peace becomes visible in your eyes. It becomes visible in your voice. It becomes visible in your silence. Even your silence carries strength, because silence rooted in peace is not empty. It is powerful. It communicates confidence. It communicates self-respect. It communicates emotional independence. People listen differently when you speak from peace. Your words carry weight. Your presence carries authority. Your energy carries influence. Not because you demanded it, but because peace naturally commands attention. When you walk into a room with inner peace, you are not scanning for approval. You are not measuring your worth based on who notices you. You are not adjusting yourself to gain acceptance. You are simply present, fully grounded, fully yourself. And this presence becomes unforgettable because most people are physically present but emotionally absent. Their minds are filled with doubt. Their hearts are filled with fear. Their identity is filled with uncertainty. But when you carry inner peace, your presence is complete. You are not divided within yourself. You are unified. You are aligned. You are whole. And people feel this wholeness. It makes them feel calm. It makes them feel drawn toward you. It makes them remember you long after you leave. Inner peace also frees you from the fear of loss. When you are peaceful, you understand that nothing meant for you will require you to abandon yourself. You understand that your value does not decrease when someone walks away. You understand that your identity is not dependent on anyone's presence. This understanding removes desperation. And desperation is what weakens attraction. Peace strengthens attraction because it communicates emotional freedom. It communicates that you are not holding anyone hostage for your happiness. It communicates that you are not clinging from fear. It communicates that you are choosing connection, not needing it for survival. This freedom creates deeper respect. Because people respect those who respect themselves. People value those who value themselves. People are drawn to those who are at peace with themselves. Inner peace also protects your emotional energy. You stop investing in situations that drain you. You stop chasing clarity from people who create confusion. You stop forcing conversations that feel unnatural. You begin to honor your emotional well-being. You begin to trust your intuition. You begin to listen to your inner voice. And this alignment strengthens your presence. Because now you are no longer fragmented. You are centered. You are stable. You are grounded. This grounded energy becomes your foundation. No external situation can easily shake you. No external opinion can easily define you. No external rejection can easily break you. Because your peace does not live outside you, it lives within you. And anything that lives within you cannot be taken without your permission. This realization transforms how you exist in the world. You no longer shrink yourself to maintain connection. You no longer silence your truth to avoid rejection. You no longer sacrifice your identity to be accepted. You stand firmly in who you are. You honor your truth. You protect your peace. And this protection makes your presence powerful. Because people recognize strength that does not need to announce itself. They recognize confidence that does not need to prove itself. They recognize peace that does not need to defend itself. This recognition makes your presence impossible to ignore. Not because you demanded attention, but because your peace made you unforgettable.